All right. Well, our first speaker is a comedian. He's going to be working for Blaze TV.
Yes.
And he does a fantastic job going to city council meetings, school board meetings, and local municipal meetings in general, and just putting a mirror in front of these local governments, and especially the governments that are just outright wrong. You know, they're the ones pushing for mask mandates, they're the ones pushing all of this gender theory, transgender stuff, and most importantly, they're all pro-abortion as well. And he just puts a beautiful mirror in front of them of their creation, basically saying, hey, I'm your creation. Why are you mad at me? And they're like, no, 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 no. So he is a fantastic activist, fantastic comedian. Let's give a round of applause to Alex Stein.
Thank you, my friend. Okay, hey, let me put up my camera because I'm a comedian. I gotta have some content for YouTube, okay? So listen. Let me see. I think that's good. I think that can see us. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Primetime 99 Alex Stein. And I know, I appreciate the love already, but this is the issue that we're having right now is the United States government, guys, all they want to do is control us. So much so, they actually want to be able to kill a baby up until it's born. Now, if you ask anybody, even the people that are pro-choice, these are the people that want to abort babies, if you ask them, should there be a limit to the time that a baby will get aborted, they all say yes. Literally. I'm just saying, anybody that's pro-choice, even if they're under the guise that they think abortion is good. But what our government and what our politicians are trying to do in states like California is they're trying to have abortion done up until the day they're born and even 7 days after birth. That's murder. I like to joke around and I like to have a good time, but there's nothing more evil than the murder of a baby. They're going to say, oh, abortion is health care. Well, what about the baby's health care? They don't take that into account because what is happening, guys, we live in the upside down world where they do not care about us. As a matter of fact, they want to make us feel as insignificant as possible. Now, it's the most disgusting thing you'll see on social media. People will argue, well, I wish I was aborted. That's where we're at. I don't know if you guys are on social media that much, but people are literally saying, I wish I was aborted. Why? Because the social engineers that rule the world have made them so depressed that their life is worthless. They don't have any connection to God. They don't have any connection to themselves. They don't have any connection to anything other than wanting to be dead. So that's what they're trying to do. They want to put you in a mass depression so that you bring other people down with them. This is what's happening, guys. You look at the agenda of the government now with the trans agenda, and you look at what's happening now with the abortion. What's the saddest part about it is, though, and a serious note is, we went from 2 years on the conservative side saying we don't want the government involved in our healthcare decisions at all. You had the people on the left saying, oh, we got to have vaccine mandates in order to get a job, in order to travel, all this stuff. So now what they've done is they've brought up Roe versus Wade and the possibility of them overturning it, when sadly there's always going to be a state out there that's going to let them have abortion. California is always going to be able to have abortion. So we might sit here and we might celebrate that Roe versus Wade is getting overturned, but that doesn't mean anything. You got guys like Gavin Newsom who's going to bust you in. He's going to bust you in, probably put you in a 5-star hotel to get your abortion. So sadly, the culture war that we're fighting, there's still going to be abortion, but what's happening is now we're under the psychological operation where all the people on the left that had no pride in Joe Biden, had no pride in Kamala Harris, now all of a sudden we've just shaken up the hornet's nest. And now we've woken up all these people to fight for what? For the ability to kill babies. So my point being is right now we're in a culture war where they have us fighting each other instead of actually going after the politicians that are causing our problems. That's our issue, is we're getting distracted. Our eyes are getting off the ball. And they do that on purpose. And abortion right now is a huge issue. But you talk about the inflation. You talk about the opioid epidemic. You talk about literally a plethora of issues plaguing America, the transgender issue, the grooming of children. We have serious issues. But they're going to fight and they're going to say, Kamala Harris is going to say, oh, I'm so sad we didn't get the bill passed, codifying abortion, making it able to abort a baby up to its birth. That's how sick these people are. We live in the upside down world. And I hate to say that, and I know that sounds like hyperbole, but it's really not. When you have the people that are elected by a lot of people all over the United States that are actually going and speaking about this, and the way they talk about it is the most disgusting thing. Instead of saying, oh, it's the murder of a baby, they say, oh, it's health care. That's what is so pathetic, is that we let the government tinkle on us and tell us it's raining. We let them decide our future. We need to take it back. We need to take self-accountability for what's going on. Now, that's easier said than done. So what I would propose for all of us is we have to take control of our own lives. The government wants to control your life. They want to make you feel depressed. So when you go to a doctor, they're going to give you antidepressants that's going to make you even more suicidal. So we know we have a healthcare system that is a multinational corporation that is only in the business of making more money instead of helping people. I don't care about money. Like when we die, we don't take the money with us. Now, we need money to survive. But the problem is, this is the main problem, is all these politicians are bought and sold with money. So they don't make a decision. They don't have the ability to feel empathy. They see the leaked photos from Planned Parenthood, and they see little baby fetuses. When I see that, it makes me want to cry. It makes me disgusted. Yet these politicians, they see dollar signs, and they see a target to fight to kill more babies. So our fight is not over, guys. So what I'm saying is there's always going to be an avenue to get an abortion. So what we have to do is we have to love one another. We have to make people feel okay. We have to give people hope in a world of hopelessness so that they make the right decision, because there will always be an avenue. Like the people on the left say, even outlawing abortion doesn't mean abortion won't happen. That's the sad thing. People will still figure out a way to have an abortion. So the only way to really save these babies is to save each other, is to save the people that are going to have the abortion. That's why we have to befriend each other. So the reason, my point being with all this speech, is even if we disagree with somebody so staunchly, like obviously we don't want any babies aborted, but we have to figure out how we can have common ground and not fight each other, not hate one another. Because all that hate does is breed more hate, and then it makes them feel in their identity political mind, because it's all about identity politics, they think they're making the right decision by getting the abortion. Like you can look at TikTok. There's numerous TikToks where girls are getting abortions and celebrating it. Multiple abortions. This is where we're at, and it's getting hundreds of thousands of views. It's getting thousands of likes, because the world is evil. Satan is real. He is here on earth, and that is our problem, is we are in a battle of good versus evil, and you have to pick which side you're on. So it's not the government. I mean, obviously we want Roe versus Wade getting overturned, but it's not them. It's taking accountability for ourselves, for our friends. Making them realize, hey, if this baby, maybe you can't financially support it, but there is an avenue, adoption. There's other avenues where you can save a life, and in the end, you'll feel better about yourself. Instead of having, I know people that have had abortions, good people that had abortions in college, and their life, they can never shake it off. They're going to constantly have depression, stress, anxiety about the decision that they made. And yeah, you might have anxiety actually having the baby. You know, I'm sure some women, I'm worried about childbirth. But that is much better than killing a baby. There's always a better option. So what I'm trying to say in this culture war, that I consider myself, a person that's fighting every single day, instead of just fighting and killing the next person, we have to befriend them. I'm a conflict interventionist. We don't want to constantly be fighting. We want to come together, and somehow that's the only way that we can make change. Now, it's not easy to be like, we're just going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. That's impossible. That's impossible. But you cannot sink to their level of evil. You have to be better than them. Obviously, I think Michelle Obama is probably a boy, but neither here. What I'm saying is, she always used to say the thing. She used to always say, when they go low, we go high. But there is some credence to that. You know what I mean? They want to drag us down in the mud. They want to actually argue. These people, and you've seen these protests. There's no counter protests here, but you've seen them, where they'll go and they literally protest the right to kill a baby. I mean, that is sick. That's disgusting. And it's not just young people, it's adults, it's a huge problem, and it's meant to divide us. So I guess my whole point being is, we don't want to fall for the psychological operation of fighting each other. We want to come together, we want to help people make better decisions so that abortion is stopped from the start, from the people that are actually killing their own babies. Because the government shouldn't be able to tell us what to do, period. The government does not care about us. There's a thing called cognitive dissonance that people suffer from. That's when you know the government lies to you. You know it, but you think they have their best interests. They don't. These politicians are not empathetic to us. They are run by multinational corporations like Pfizer, like Halliburton. Look at what's happening in this World War III in the Ukraine. That doesn't benefit anybody. What's happening now is America's last. We don't even have baby formula for our even babies. Yet they're sending pallets of baby formula to Mexico, to the southern border. They're letting fentanyl come through our border like Swiss cheese. And we've had over 108,000 drug overdose deaths this year alone, the most in recorded history. And they don't even talk about it. Joe Biden doesn't even talk about it. So we have huge problems in front of us. So the idea that Roe versus Wade is the end-all be-all, it's not. It's just one thing on a long laundry list of problems. So do not let this drag you down into the mud when these other people that are arguing, oh, I want to be able to kill my baby, I want to do this. Don't even fight with them. Try to show them love. I mean, it's easier said than done, but you know, what was it, the bracelets we used to wear? What would Jesus do? You know, we got to be more like Jesus. We got to be more forgiving. We have to be more accepting. Even if we hate them in our heart, that hate begets more hate. So we somehow have to figure out how to make a world a better place, doing it individually, you know, taking self-responsibility for the world we live in. And, you know, basically that's all I have to say, guys. Just, you know, keep fighting. But we have to fight. We have to be civilly disobedient while being respectful to one another, because they want us to hate each other. The powers that be, the social engineers, they want us fighting in the street. We have to be smart. We have to be civilly disobedient in a way that doesn't get us in trouble and that actually helps the world instead of falling into the traps that they set out for us. So I'm Alex Stein. Thank you guys very much.
What a great speech. Thank you, Alex.